You know, I'm about sick of hearing from gun-toting idiots about the Second Amendment, about how you could pry it from their cold dead hands. What about the First Amendment? That's what the Second Amendment was created for, was to protect our First Amendment rights. So we got apparently militias forming to protect our gun rights. Bitch, lay down your fucking arms. Put that fucking gun down. You fucking bitch. You don't give a fuck about the children and their future. If you did, you'd have picked up that gun when the government first started stealing people's children, and that was a long fucking time ago. That was before I was even born. When they took your neighbor's kid, what did you do with that gun? You polished it up and took it out to the range and talked about buying another one. You give a fuck about gun laws, I'm going to tell you something. I can get a firearm. Regardless of what the law says, I can get a firearm. Regardless of what the law says, I can manufacture my own firearms. I have the knowledge, and you can't take that from me. I have the knowledge to make my own ammunition. You can't take that from me. I can make my own RPGs. I can make my own machine guns. You cannot take that knowledge from me. It's my choice not to carry a firearm. Do you know why? Because there are plenty of firearms. I live in Nebraska where there are 6 guns for every citizen. If shit goes to shit, you really think I'm going to go without a firearm? Fuck no, somebody will hand me a fucking gun. If they don't hand me a gun, I will pick one up off of a fucking corpse. It's not complicated. But the fact is, I don't need one. I don't need a fucking gun. What I need is my First Amendment rights. What I need is the right to face my accusers. The right to show evidence. If you gave a fuck about this country more than you gave a fuck about your gun rights, you would use those guns. Use them. Not talk about it. The only time that you talk about using your guns is when you're hateful towards somebody. Or when they talk about taking your guns. How about when it's the right fucking thing to do? How about when it'll save lives? But will it? Will it save lives if you start shooting people? The state of Virginia is trash. The state of Nebraska is trash. Colorado is trash. California is trash, and Washington State is trash. Wyoming is trash. There are a lot of other states in the Union that are complete trash. Over 50% of our citizens live under the poverty line. And we should be grateful, right? No, we fucking shouldn't. It's government greed that has created this. While you care more about Donald fucking Trump than your own fucking neighbor. You piece of shit. You don't bother to find out what's going on. When it's a homeless person, you don't give a fuck. Homeless people are not humans to you. Homeless people are not human beings to the LGBT community. Homeless people are not human beings to the black community or to the immigrant community. All these things that you bitch about that happen to the LGBT, to the blacks and other minorities, to immigrants. These hate crimes happen to homeless people 5 times for every one hate crime against all of these other groups. Meanwhile, there are less homeless people than there are immigrants. There are less homeless people than there are blacks. There are less homeless people than there are Native Americans. There are less homeless people than there are immigrants. Meanwhile, when they take a person's child because they ended up homeless, you don't give a fuck. You care when they do it to immigrants, right? You do? You really do? What about a homeless person? What about someone who lost their house because they were abused? Because one person's income is not enough to keep a roof over your head. What then? Do you give a fuck? No, you make excuses why that homeless person deserves it and why that child deserves it. Fuck you. Fuck your gun rights. Because you let the rest of them go. You let them slide because all you care about is the ability to kill somebody if you fucking want to. You piece of shit.